Green interwebs, it's Jackie K, and welcome. Oh no, it's an ambush! There's a little less anticlimactic because I literally showed this part of the video at the very end of the last one. But hey, don't got too many fights left until we reach the end, so I might as well show off everything I can along the way. Welcome back to Sweet Expedition, by the way. We got a lot of enemies, a lot of them are in the air out of reach of our party members. I think this is a good opportunity as any to show off Toxic Tea. Some of the enemies were honestly a little resistant to it because they're water, but at least we're able to make up with it with the poison secondary effect. That's a solid 3 turns of poison damage, and imagine if I actually was good with the timing there. At least poison doesn't feel too broken in this situation because sure, the chip damage will be nice, but it'll take so long for the poison damage to rack up that it would be safer for us just to finish them off on our own. We do enough damage that the majority of these enemies we just be taking out normally anyways. But I'm already seeing situations where the poison has its perks, like right here, with the even though it fully heal, it got lowered to just enough HP to finish off with a Gale Stomp. That fine little blooper friend up there. Am I actually gonna take use of this opportunity against the Blue Sea Pop though? Nah, of course not. Oh right, it's this battle. I'm just gonna make this a public shout out, a public plea. Let's just call it what it is, a plea for help. If for whatever reason anyone with more modding experience than me is watching this video and knows why the heck the X for the fuzzy counter is all the way over there and not in front of the enemy where it's supposed to be, love to know, because it's been a problem since the game generally released and I have yet to figure out why. I feel like I've asked about it too, and even after asking about it, still haven't been able. Something still went awry to keep me from actually figuring it out. You know what? I was just talking about last time of how I'm gonna fill up on items because it's the last area, so I might as well use all the items I can. Why am I still hoarding items? Let's actually use something. Eeny, meeny, miny, you. Let's go with the Coco Kaboom. I actually can't believe we've gone this far without showing it off once. It's a slightly nerfed Egg Bomb, but it does have the secondary effect of Dizzy, but similar to the situation I've been running with Cooper and finding things to actually Dizzy, I get the feeling we're not going to be showing off that secondary effect today. On the tangent of not showing things off, this battle's been going on for a bit as is, so I might as well spend this time talking a little bit about some of the other items that we picked up that are, at least appear to be new. Things like the Spell Donut, I'll just say now is a cookie that's a little nerfed in the FP it heals, but it has the same secondary effect. The Electro Pop is not new at all, it just has an updated description to include a whole factor that... to include a description of the glitch that Electro Pop technically has of it healing more FP than it normally describes. Like if you were to go into the full description of the item in the menu, you'd actually be able to see exactly how an Electro Pop technically works in vanilla Paper Mario. Maybe I could have just patched it out, but it's a fun secondary effect that you don't normally see on items, so I thought it's more fun to keep it in. Although my the trees look a little funny, this was one of the earlier things that I messed around with in the map editor, and ironically enough, I've been not able to get it to work with any other map, or figure out how to get it back. It might be easier just to delete everything I saved on this map and just revert it back to normal. But we'll see, that's a problem for future Jackie K. Present Jackie K has to worry about this assortment of enemies. Am I gonna do it? Oh my god, I'm actually gonna do it. Got a little invigorated going on here to get Mario's attack up just high enough so that a Gale Stomp will one-shot the Bloopsy Pop. Fantastic. Again, we're so close to the end. I think I'm going to use a couple more items in this fight just so I don't waste them. Just don't run into the traditional RPG trope of hoarding all your items to the end and not actually having an opportunity to need them because you're always waiting for that one moment to actually use them. Oh, just going for a little storm shell here. Just when I was about to talk about how, of course, now the enemies are actually immune to electricity, when I was just talking about... I was just about to say, I think there were some enemies that I, instead of just making immune to electric, I just decreased the time frame that they would be paralyzed for. And when I say electric in that case, I was talking about paralyzation, by the way. And of course, I got the best effect out of that spell donut right away. I guess I didn't need to describe that one. I guess I did actually show that off after all. Am I gonna show off the Shilly Doll too? I think we've at least seen that one in a fight before. Oh yeah, that's the other thing I was gonna talk about. Like, while we have the Hardy Tart on screen, it's just an HP healing item, but I wanted to do a cute thing with it that I didn't get around to in time for the Game Jam release or this, of just editing it so I had like a little heart. So like, I don't know what it's called on Pi when you have like the cuts in it to let the air flow through, but I wanted to make that part of it shaped like a heart. If I got a second, maybe I think I just finished the sprite not too long ago. I'm not sure if it's perfect, but I can at least pop it up on screen real quick while we're buying time to... Oh, that's right. I guess I was just double checking and refreshing myself on what these enemies were actually weak to, because I wanted to make good use out of it and not have Rush come out here and do the wrong thing. Actually, is that even necessary though? Hindsight, I probably put more thought into this battle than I needed to, but hey, it is what it is. At least now you've had plenty of time to actually see the Hardy Tart on screen. And with that, we should be done. Try and remember how many more battles we can do. Technically all these are optional until the boss. Oh, right, I guess this will be our last level up until the boss. Now, what to go for? It's been a bit since I've done this recording. I guess I go for BP considering the badge that we just got. It's pretty expensive, but considering I added in last minute because I couldn't figure out what badge to actually put in that area. Also, there's living proof that all I did with the Cocoa Bean was replace the mushrooms with it. I have fixed this for the final release of Sweet Expeditions. The beans should be their own item now, so hypothetically, mushrooms and cocoa beans can now exist in this mod, what's the word, coincidentally? Together. I think I was trying to find something more fancy, but I might as well just say together. Speaking of increasing my BP for a special badge that I added last minute that probably breaks the balance of the mod because I added in last minute, it's time for all or nothing to really shine. Because if you couldn't tell by the new save block and the new heart block, there's something coming up a bit. Speaking of suspicious things, I guess I don't know if I forgot to put something in there or if my code was buggy and it thought that I already hit that block even though I just came through in the air. It's one of those two things, and I'm sure it'll be fixed in the final release. I just don't even remember what I put up there or what would make a good reward for a little secret there. On one hand, it's right in your face and in the way. On the other hand, it's invisible and hidden, so I would imagine some people would miss it. Oh, by the way, that seems new. I'm sure it's nothing though. Like I was saying though, just conflicted of how hidden that secret is, cause it's invisible and new, but you don't really gotta work for it like some of the other puzzles that I added in the Sweet Expedition. Who knows? Maybe now that you've seen it, I'll move it to somewhere else. Ooh. By the way, this fight's been Cooper-proof as well. It's kind of funny how it actually works, considering these enemies actually are supposed to fly in the air, so it's very easy to make it so Cooper can't hit them. I wish I knew the script that just turned something into a boss naturally, so I didn't have to go through these convoluted ways of avoiding it. But hey, what works, works. Speaking of which, yeah, there are boss blocking the way. Why don't we do something about that? We've seen Blue Sea Pops already, but what's the deal with this bigger one? Shocker's Bop. This is a Shocker's Bop. 50 HP, defense 0. Damage varies on attack. weak to fire. Energy from the item gives the Blue Pop elemental properties as they grow up, similar to how Rush gains their power. Any money? Even though age does weaken it, as it gets even weaker to heat and toxins. Its normal attack does 4 damage, but can go up to 10 if you let it charge. Yikes. Not as scary as it can be, because you can interrupt the charge. But it is electric, so you gotta watch out for that. Plus it inks you like the Electro Bluebird that this is based on. Big twist here is that it'll actually make you dizzy. After implementing the new status changes, Dizzy might as well just be vision impaired, so I just treat them one and the same in, I guess, Sweet Expedition lore? For lack of a better way to describe it. Anyways, all those details out of the way, and now that we're more powerful with the knowledge that we have, why don't we capitalize on the Chocolate Pop's weakness, and do a little Toxic Tea? Oh my god, I think that's the best I've done the action command yet. Fantastic. I couldn't think of a better time to do it because this boss in particular is double weak to poison. Like, as you see here, the Blue Pops have 4 turns of poison. So whenever you poison the Chakra Pops, it gets an extra 3 turns of poison compared to all the other enemies. Now, what I'm doing here might be a little weird because in this mod, items don't pierce. So elemental resistances, like the water enemies resisting ice, would still apply. But I find the Chili Doll is fantastic for this boss fight in particular, because you got the 2 enemies draining your HP, and considering they would normally do 2 HP damage per hit, lowering their attack down 1 makes them a lot easier to manage with. Then again, there's another item in our inventory that basically makes this whole boss fight a joke. Okay, slight exaggeration, but this boss fight's not intended to be a super hard boss to begin with, despite being our last main challenge. And even then, the item will make it a lot easier. I'm just burning some FP before using it. Oh, by the way, this is what happens when you don't get the full action command. I think I did mention already that instead of doing 2-2-2, it does 3-2-2. But now you actually see it in action. Not the easiest fight to see it in because of the whole elemental weakness, making that first attack do 4, but gets the general point across. But this is the main reason I wanted to use the Chakras Pop. I guess the only reason I didn't do it turn 1 was to burn a little FP since I pretty much recovered back to full FP anyways. But yeah, they can't even touch us now. We can chop on the Chakras Pop without getting electrocuted ourselves, making us turn this fight, I guess, into a joke because we're canceling out 90% of the hits, especially when we're attacking it with an attack that does more damage to aerial enemies. Plus, even if you don't have the item, if you use it up already, the fight's still fairly easy because Rush, pretty much anything that half of our party attacks from indirectly anyways, between like Shy's T attack and Rush's Ultra attack. But even then, because Rush is based off Watt, she can just run up and dash it, no matter her element, and cancel it out. This is something I'm on the fence of if I'm going to keep in the final cut, because I think ideally I would want to implement like elemental resistances as Rush changes her element as well, like Fire Rush being able to hit fire enemies, and normal or Electric Rush being able to hit electrified enemies. I haven't figured out how to code it though yet, and I think that's like 90% of the reason why it's still in there, that Rush still hits electrified enemies no matter the element. Works is pretty convenient for if you want an easy time against this boss, I suppose. Speaking of easy times against the boss, we're done. Well, I guess we still have to get rid of the Lucy. Oh, never mind. I guess our Voltrim will be doing that work for us. But yeah, not meant to be a terribly hard boss fight, just a good excuse to flex all of our items and abilities that we've gotten throughout the adventure. That being said, I have been trying to look into ways to add a little challenge for those that want it. I haven't done anything yet, so I don't want to promise it yet, but don't be surprised if in the final release there's like a badge that makes enemies do extra damage to you or something like that. I don't mind the cut. I totally wasn't tattling this area with Gumbario just to realize that I forgot to change the jungle text. Huh. That seems new. I wonder what that's about. No comment on the Rainbow Spring, Gumbario? I guess we're gonna have to check it out ourselves. Yeah. What's funny, besides that guy, we'll check out that bloke later. But I gotta backtrack a little bit anyways. What I was gonna say though, what's kind of funny is I actually made that spring the same time, or very close to the same time that L. Dexter released his Chapter 5 demo of the 1000-Year Door edition of Paper Mario 64. And I just can't stop finding it funny that we both had the same idea of shortening this tree in completely different ways. Like, it was probably like a few days apart. I just finished programming that spring, and then I played the 1000-Year Door demo. I was like, oh wait, maybe his idea is a little less convoluted. I don't know though, it's kind of fun. That being said, if you do take the time to backtrack, because you remember that there was an item there in Vanilla Paper Mario, you are rewarded with a news effect badge. And I guess if there's any reward you have to get right at the very end, with no other battles left in tow, then I guess that badge in particular is not a bad reward to get. Oh! Welcome. Sorry, it's been ages since I last seen someone come this deep into the island. You don't happen to be the ones who cleared out those pests that affected my sacred area. Excellent! Those bloopers and other monsters have been a menace to me and the people of this island for ages now. Mario, right? Word on the wind, you've done a great deal for the village as well. Anyone who can do all that is a friend of mine in my eyes. Why, yes, you've heard correct. I am the guardian of this island. You can refer to me as Master Custer. If you have any problems at all, just let me know, okay? I'm all ears. Ah, I see. You're on your search of the legendary treasure of Glace Island. I may be able to help with that. You see, I have an ancient art passed down by generation and generation of people. Said to be able to turn any tree into the greatest fleet in the world. You have any idea how dangerous this sort of power holds here? Recall the power of the sugar sparky traveling you had. Imagine that power was tenfold, if not unlimited. That is the power of sweets, here on Glace Island. That said, you have done a great deal for all of us on Glace Island in the short time you've been here. More than many of us done in our lifetime. So if there's anyone on this island, no, the world I can trust this treasure to, it'd be you, Mario. Take in pride, and continue to spread your kind of sweet spirit around the world. That is changed in the final version too. Maybe I should flash it on screen real quick too. After all, it is kind of the main draw. It is the main end goal of the entire game. If I'm gonna get feedback on any item, I probably should see how people think about that one. So yeah, we got the treasure of Glace Island, and he warps us back to the entrance. And because I know some people are curious, yes, I did fix this thing where that script just repeat over, you could keep getting more and more of them. The saddest thing is that I did fix that before the public release, but after submissions were closed, so yeah. Sweet Expedition was rushed, but then again, what's new? Let's see how Colorado feels. We did get the one thing that we were on this expedition for. You truly are a miracle worker. You actually found it. The legendary treasure of Glace Island. A sweet fragrance is more than we can imagine. You wouldn't mind if I hold on to it. It's for safekeeping. Thank you, Mario. With this, I declare our expedition to be a complete and total success. So yeah, that's the ideal Game Jam build for Paper Mario Sweet Expedition. And honestly, probably the main story of Sweet Expedition. It's not meant to be a long mod. A lot of the time that's gone into it has been gone into making it deeper rather than bigger, if that makes sense. I wouldn't be shocked if this was the very end, if there wasn't a little something extra to do, but I'm not quite ready to make any promises on that. At least not quite yet. I got some ideas of at least giving people ways to play around with the mechanics of the game after the main adventure is over, but we'll have to see how much of that pans out. That being said, I did come up with a fun idea to give people another way to play around with these mechanics besides the main game, like a way to demo it while I'm finishing up the mod and putting the final touches onto it. If that idea pans through, I think that might be a perfect way to as a release, something that people can try out. So stay tuned. I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna go through with it yet, but it's kind of like with how Bo's Halloween Spook turned out. A little side project that I wasn't sure if I'd be able to do, but I think I'm at the point where I'm invested enough into it that, unless it seems flat out impossible, I'm gonna do it. So stay tuned. If you haven't heard anything about it on the Discord or my site yet, I'll probably at least reveal what the idea is by the time this video comes out. Hopefully, maybe I'll even be ready to release that little side project. As for Sweet Expedition itself, again, like I've mentioned throughout the playthrough, there's so many things I'm just uncertain of how far I want to go yet that I don't really feel comfortable giving a release date. Though, if it takes me longer than 2023 to finish Sweet Expedition, then I feel like something has gone wrong. Now, before I make any more promises that I'm worried that I won't be able to upkeep and just lead to people's disappointment, special thanks to the Paper Mario modding community. It's definitely safe to say I would have never made this project without them. The Game Jam was what finally got me to try out the scripting part of Star Rod, and because they were made for a Game Jam, a lot of the ideas used in Sweet Expedition would have never came to light if not for this Game Jam. Special thanks to pretty much all of the Paper Mario modding community with all the help they've given me along the way. They helped me set up the whole variable that is a key factor that makes Rush's elemental change ability work. They helped me figure out how to make the whole Rush joining the party work, and those are just the two biggest things that come to mind. It would take me all day to list out every little thing. Shoutouts to Darkstar for existing, because the special changes to status conditions were essentially copied from Darkstar. While I'm at, special thanks to everyone involved with Master Quest 2.0, because apparently Darkstar just got that from Master Quest 2.0, even though it's not released yet. And thanks to all you for watching, especially all you who've been supporting and waiting very patiently for Sweet Expedition to be finished. I can't help but feel bad, because I know there's much bigger and more ambitious projects that have been making a lot more progress than this little thing has. Hopefully the end result will be well worth the wait. Thinking about it, it's weird to look over this recording, because there's so much that's already changed since recording this. I'm not sure if it's really a good, fair judgment of the progress that Sweet Expedition is currently at. There's a lot more done than this playthrough series has made it out to be. And hopefully now that this is all done, you'll start seeing the fruits of those labors much more frequently on the channels I usually post that stuff on. Again, really hope that side project pans out, because I do feel it would be the perfect way to show my appreciation towards how patient people have been for the release of Sweet Expedition. I think that's all the rambling I have to get out for now. Thank you all for tuning in to this playthrough, and I'll see you all later. Hopefully soon there'll be bigger and better news tying to the progress of this mod itself. Take care.